All right, traders, welcome to another edition of our Ichimoku Live at 5, where we're going to be featuring the cryptocurrency market today. Now, the weird thing is, we always have a live at 5, but it's a member session, and it's usually a live webinar session where all members can join in the webinar and we talk about either the Forex pairs or the our stocks or cryptocurrencies. But there's a problem today. The problem is I'm all by myself. There's no webinar. This is for non-members, so I'm going to just be doing this and making it on, putting it on YouTube and so forth. And so I wanted to do a session on cryptocurrencies. Going to look at some pairs. I'm going to look at a lot of pairs actually, and pretty much want to look at the ones that have some kind of opportunity with them. I'm going to be showing you Ichimoku. As you could see, this is my Ichimoku settings. Basically, I have the cloud set really bright, dark. I'm sorry, really light, so you can't see it as much. I don't want people to focus on the cloud, so I've lightened it so that it doesn't stand out so much, and then you start paying more attention to support and resistance levels and the price. So I want to be able to see those levels and see the price. Don't get lost into the cloud thing. All right. Also, my settings, in case everyone always asks me, my settings are the default settings on Ichimoku. I haven't adjusted no settings to do anything. I trade it as it is. All right. So just so when you ask me ahead of time, and if you ask me why, just see if it works. All right, so I'm back with this video we're going to be doing here. I'm going to post this up. So we're starting out with the BTC. Actually, we're going to be versus the US dollar pairs first, and then we'll go versus the BTC pairs next. So I'll go through all the pairs as far as like versus USD, like BTC USD, BCH USD, and then we'll go down. Once we get down through those, then we'll attack the BTC pairs, ADA versus BTC, BCC versus BTC, and so forth. So we're going to attack the USD and then the Bitcoin. So starting off with with the BTC US dollar, Bitcoin US dollar. Not a lot of Ichimoku here to help me out because we're kind of flat, so we're going to look at more support and resistance levels. Don't love some of these levels because we don't have so much history to go by, so we're going by this last level here, this recent level, which came down here, spiked right on that level and then moved up. So it was a relevant level when it occurred back in February of this month of this year. So you could see we had the level here, and then we came right back down to that level, and then we bounced, and now we're attacking that level again. When we hit this level, currently, hold on for a second. All right, I'm sorry guys, I'm fighting this head cold, so I'll be in and out of here. So I'm gonna try to get this done quickly. So price has come back to this level again, so it's a relevant level. We want to see if we could get a trade off of this level. Now there's a good thing about this level. Back here you see we hit, and now we're at, this is a zone. I made it a zone because of the big wick, so price could fall inside that zone still. So we still could see it drop to the downside a little bit more before it bounces and moves up. You got a little bit of distance on Kijinsen, but not that much, and now it's starting to aim to the downside. Everything is bearish on Ichimoku now, so we need to be careful of that, but we may see a bounce and the market move a little bit higher. You see everything was bearish on Ichimoku right here, and you had a bounce and the market moved much higher. All right, so Ichimoku's not as fast as the market. You got to pay attention to the market more so, because price is going to give you a better determination of what's happening to the market quicker than Ichimoku will. Okay, and then I use a lot of fractals. I love to trade with fractals. I won't be talking about how I enter fractal trades at this point. Just going to be talking about these basic Ichimoku trades and some support and resistance levels. So I'm using this balanced volume. So the thing about OBV is it's a volume indicator, but pretty much. So it's pretty much a momentum indicator right here. So what it does basically, it takes today's close. It takes basically the OBV is the running total of the volume, of all volume. Negative and positive volume. but it takes like today's close. If today's close is higher than yesterday's close, then the OBV is going to be your previous OBV level plus today's volume, and that'll give you your current OBV level. But then if today's close is lower than yesterday's close, then you're going to get your previous OBV level plus, or no, sorry, minus today's volume, and that will give you your current OBV level. So that's what we use it for. Now, I have mentioned in another video, when you're using OBV, the way that you trade with this, a lot of times you're going to use it for divergence. Divergence is really good in the market. So there's two types of divergence you're going to be able to spot. You're going to spot regular divergence and hidden divergence. So regular divergence is divergence where you're looking for a reversal, basically. So when you're at support and resistance levels, you're looking for a reversal. But hidden divergence is going to be where you're looking for the market to continue with the trend up or down. So I'm going to show you real quick both the divergences because I see both of them on this chart right now. So let's draw them out. So looking at this point right here as opposed to this point and then where the market is now, if we draw a line on those, all right, you could see the OBV level was heading up, so volume was increasing, but the market was going to the downside. So eventually at the support and resistance level, you expect that divergence to kick in. So that's regular divergence, and then looking for the market to move a little higher. Now it could drop into this area, as I said. So what I like to do is go down to the 4-hour time frame and hone in on my entry. All right, but we'll go to the 4-hour time frame in a minute here. I don't believe we have an entry level for sure yet. So that's going to be what you call hidden, not hidden, regular divergence. But now we're going to look at hidden divergence, okay? Because I like to, you go from point to point. So from this point to this point where the market made this fractal level, that would be here, right? And this point would be here. This is going to the downside, but the OBV increased to the upside. All right, it passed this level, but it didn't do it on the chart. It didn't pass that level. That's hidden bearish divergence. So in hidden bearish divergence, you're looking for the market to continue to the downside, and sure enough, we get our entry. The market goes to the downside. You pretty much came to this support and resistance level. All right, so that would have helped you to enter the trade if you were looking for that. And also we had price inside the TK zone. So here's your Kijinsen, here's your Tenkan-sen. We were inside this TK zone. We had a little setup, and then the market dropped to the downside. So you had an entry for a trade to the downside based off of your TK zone trade. Now I'm a little bit of a swing trader, so I look for trades. I don't trade the day trade pretty much. I look for swing trades. I look to get in the trade and be in there a couple days or longer. So this is long-term trading, a little bit more than just day trading. All right, but these things that I'm talking to you now apply for all the time frames. All right, so it's going to be the same thing because the markets are fractal in nature. They're going to repeat the same things over and over on all time frames. So you go one time frame, you could see those same kinds of things on another time frame and so forth. All right, so when we're looking at this here, we're looking for a bounce on this level. Nothing really Ichimoku wise. Everything is bearish on Ichimoku. So we want to kind of go down to your 4-hour time frame to hone in on your entry. And we kind of have a entry. And right now we have just sitting up at this level, little rejection, looking for a trade to the upside. Now there's other things that I look at more, that we look at when we're talking about doing all this trading in the member sessions. We have better entry things that we'll look at besides this basic price action entry level, but I don't believe this level right off the bat until we start violating some levels. But also, I told you this was a zone, so the market could still drop a little bit. So we need to see if that's the case. Now we're even showing divergence on the 4-hour time frame here. This is regular divergence, which would be a possible reversal at this level. See, this was pretty much flat. But at that point we were pretty much moving to the upside, so we're looking to see that. So you go a 3 candle entry here with this 4-hour, You could get a morning star here or three inside up or something like that, and you see the market move to the upside. A good thing, we'll see it get past this level and maybe trade up to the Kijinsen, at least to the Kijinsen, because then maybe we may see at this Kijinsen a little rejection. Market drops back and then goes back to the upside. I like to see a 1 2 3 reversal to confirm that the market has changed direction. So we don't really have that because we have a 1. We call this a 2. This would be a 3. You don't want the 3 to come back to the 1. So when the 1, 2, and then you call this a 3, if this level's back at that point, then you don't have the 1 2 3, and you don't have the momentum to move higher. So now what we'll look for, we'll wait and see. So if I tell you that the market's going to move up to this point here, so if it moves higher, then we get the bounce and a little correction and then a break. You'll see this as 1 2 and then 3 right here. 3 never came back to the 1 level as it did here, so that lets us know that maybe the market's gonna go. So we have some things on our side when we see that. We have the divergence, the bullish divergence. We have the 1 2 3 reversal signal, and we have a signal off of support and resistance. So you have a lot of things in your favor at that point, but still got to let the market play out, see where we are. A lot of traders want to jump in and get the market as early as possible. So they want to just take this. When I say this, they want to jump in there now. And then the next thing you know, the market drops to the downside. Like I said, it could go back down to that zone, and then it could trade to the upside. So be careful. Get some confirmation, because what we trade, when we talk about trading in the member sessions, we talk about LST, which is level, signal, and then trigger. So we need a level, signal, and trigger. I really don't look at the market unless I'm at a level. So my levels are here, levels here, my level, support and resistance level. Could use the cloud level, and there's other levels that we really use a lot of. All right, so we want to see the market get to those levels and bounce and give us an opportunity. That's where the market talks to you, at those levels. Really, as it's continuing, if you jump on a train, it could just reverse on you. You want to have something that's helping you support your move, or support it from the upside or the downside. So you use that as your stop loss. But that's what we're looking at here on this on this BTC USD. So I'm going to move faster because I'll be here all day, because we got a lot of pairs to look at, be explaining everything so thorough, I guess, and then we're going to miss out on catching everything. So we're going to go to ETC USD. All right, so ETC USD, pretty much the same thing. Now, got to trust these levels, because this is the support level down here. All right, and it came back to that level again, and now a third time. There's a lot of divergence in these crypto markets right now. All right, so, and also what you see is the 52-week high and low here. So that's the 52-week high, and the 52-week low is right there. So that's automatically on my chart. It draws automatically. I got this off of Trading View. I use it as a good tool. You see the market flattening out here, right? So it's pretty much at this support and resistance level. Let's go to the daily. Whoops, gotta get that daily analysis. So here we are. You see the support and resistance level much better. All right, so when you see that, you see where we kind of had support here, a little bit of resistance back here, support all through here. So this level is kind of strong with this market. The market spiked right down to the support and resistance level, came right back down to it again, and then we're here again for the umpteenth time. All right, there's a possibility of violating this level, but currently it looks like we have some strong divergence. So like I said, there's a lot of divergence in these markets right now. So looking at that divergence, you could see the market move higher. I mean, the divergence is bullish, but the market's still flattening out, pretty much starting to flatten out, finding support maybe at this level. Don't just trade off of the divergence. You need to see that it's going to bounce on that level, because still we could break right through here. So what I want to look for now is a bounce at this level. So I'm going to go down to my 4-hour time frame. Now currently, if you just look at this candle, watch the next candle, you may get a morning star level here, and you could trade that to the upside. But also you go to your 4-hour time frame, and you may be able to get in the trade a little earlier. So we're going 4-hour, if my charts will take me there. So here's 4-hour. Again, you have another possible entry level, because you have a rejection candle here, and you got to look at closing above that point. A lot of times on a rejection candle, depending if it was flat on this level here, I would just trade this entry. I would put an entry there a pending order there and then trade it to the upside. Now here we're so far from the support level that I want to see it close above this point right here. All right, and then you have a little bit of divergence on the OBV. You could see it going to the upside. This is still going to the downside. You may see that reversal here. Again, you want to see that 1, 2, 3 reversal because you don't even have that yet. You don't even have your 1 yet. All right, so we look for a 1, 2, 3 here. You had 1, 2, and then you never got the 3. The 3 dropped way past your 1 level. So you didn't have a 1, 2, 3 reversal there. You didn't have it here, but you had the market still moving to the downside. You had 1, 2, 3, and back to 4, and you had that all over the place. So you want to see that 1, 2, 3 reversal. You want to get at support and resistance level with these divergences. It gives you a high probability trade setups, very high probability trade setups. All right, but the way you're going to catch these is now, if you know you have a level that you want to enter the market on, right? So what do you do now? Because you're not going to be able to come and check all these pairs so quick. Maybe the market moves so quick. So maybe you put a price alert at that level. All right. Or you're going to put it at Tinkinson level. You want to see if the market closes above that level. And that's where you're going to enter the market, right? So start using price alerts. Every pair that you looked at, if you see something and you want to, that's where you know your trade level is. So here if we just stay on the daily time frame, I'm going to put a price alert here. Want to see when the market gets back up to that level. If it gets there, then I'm kind of confident about taking a trade. Okay, and then we'll look at what's going to happen there. So put price alerts, and then you don't have to worry about coming back to your chart to look at it because you're not going to probably catch it. All right, so that's Ethereum Classic US Dollar. Let's go to ETH USD. So I want to look at this daily. I don't see this thing stopping yet. This thing is still dropping to the downside. So I don't know why I even looked this one up because I don't have a level really to trade. But I do see some divergence coming in here. Now I don't trade the divergence. Now you may see this correct itself a little bit. So it may move back up to your Tinkinson level. All right, before it falls back down to the downside. So I'm thinking we're still going to see downside momentum here. Downside movement, so nothing really to trade at this point. Now where's our support and resistance level? That's the thing, because with this thing here, haven't really marked any great levels. So let's see if we could find the good level to make sure the very next good level. So we're lower than that point, and then this is a good point because you had resistance here, and support here. Now we violated, so this is what I'm talking about. We violated this level a little bit, and now you may see it come back up inside there and then trade back to the downside because you do have some divergence here. Now divergence doesn't mean it's going to turn around and go far or whatever. It could be just a little correction, then the market comes back to stays with the trend. We're not really trying to fight the trend. We're just trying to trade that correction, especially in a flat market. Now this isn't really flat because you had a big downtrend here. All right, but I don't love anything with this right now, so I would wait for the theater to pull back to your Tinkinson level. That's where I'm going to trade. The market loves to follow this Tinkinson level. Tinkinson loves to follow the market, whatever. But you can see I get bounces on this level, and this is where I trade long or short a lot of times. And you get also your Kijinson level too. So just watch for those. There's nothing here for me right now with this ETH US dollar. So I'm going to go to IOTA US dollar. Look at that. So with this IOTA US dollar, again, we're on a support level, pretty good support level, because you see back here, this was resistance. Here it was resistance and support, so we love that. Here it was support. The market spike came all the way back down to this level, and then we pretty much came there again, and then we're right at it again. Now while we're at it again, we have strong divergence. There's a lot of divergence in this market with these pairs right now, and a lot of them are at support levels. So there's opportunities for this thing to change direction now and start to get that bullish rally going, because we've been pretty much with the crypto market, we've been bearish for quite a while now after everybody got that initial love and move the last couple months. But now the last couple months we've been pretty bearish, but prior to that, when everything was moving good and everybody was so excited, now you have seen some of the enthusiasm fade. All right, but you can see we're flat here. You got divergence here. The market's starting to give us a little signal right here. You got a bearish candle with a little candle. If this stays as is, that next candle may give us a morning star signal where we could enter the market stop loss below that level. All right, this is a support and resistance level. But again, I try to enter on the 4-hour time frame if I could to get a better entry than that. And so I'm going to look at that 4-hour time frame. Go to this 4-hour. If my market will move for me. So here's your daily. Let's go back to the 4-hour right here. So 4 hours not giving me a good sign yet. Don't love it, but you do have a little bit of divergence because you're flat here and you see the market still going. So both of the time frames are showing a divergence. Now all Ichimoku is straight bearish. All right, so on the 4-hour time frame it's straight bearish. Now when you go to the daily again, it's bearish also, but we're still looking for a little move to the upside because we're at that support level. Ichimoku's a little bit flat, but still slowly trending to the downside. You could see it, a slow trend to the downside, but finding that support level. As you see here, the market came down and you had that move back to the upside. So you may get that same thing. Not to say that the market's going to go full blast straight to the upside or very long, but we got a possible change of direction here, and then you never know. It could start that trend that's going to lead us all the way back up to here. Who knows? All right. So that's IOTA dollar. So let's go to the LTC US dollar. Try to get through these pairs. A lot of people want to look at the BTC pairs versus BTC, but here we go with the LTC US dollar. Okay, so again, another pair at support and resistance. You got a little distance on Kijinsen, got a little signal there. You see that you got this support and resistance level. Once the market's showing us a little not true divergence, there's no divergence there, we're still in line. So we don't have the divergence, but we do have the support level. And then we got a little at this point. This is a and this candle has another 38 minutes before it closes, right? But you got at this point, this is an inverted hammer. So if we see a move above that inverted hammer, we may see this market move higher, get up to Tenkan-sen, and then maybe get through Tenkan-sen up to the Kijinsen level. So you may see that move to the upside. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, but that's not going to give us a full-blown move where we're saying, oh, we're going about all the way back up here or anything. It's just possibly a correction before we attempt to violate this level, or we bounce on this level and continue higher. So if you get that, if you get in a trade here and you could see that 1 2 3 develop, then you know you're probably going to see this thing move even higher. Now Ichimoku, it's still bearish. There's no good signs showing us of anything moving to the upside. But again, I told you same thing down here. The market moved much higher. You could have had some decent profit there. So you're expecting those kinds of things still happen. Ichimoku's flat. This market is basically flat because you could see if I draw this in a box, it's pretty much starting to be a range. And maybe the market eventually, if we could, if we're lucky, you get this level and it moves all the way back up to the top of the range level, because you hit this level twice and we haven't come back to touch this point. So not really a range, but we're flat, right? And so even if you said, hey, the market may come back up and test this level right here, right? Let's move this up because this is the level here. This was support a little bit, and then resistance here. You may see it bouncing even if we could get through Tenkan-sen, Kijinsen. You still got the cloud to fight, but you could see the market maybe get up to that point. Now that's a little bit long term, okay? So you're looking longer term, but you're just trying to get your profit now with a little move off of the support and resistance level. So I love to go to the 4-hour time frame. As I said, check out my, don't have an entry on the 4-hour time frame at this point. All right. Nothing to really get me into the market at this point. So that's LTC US dollar. I'm going to go to OMG US dollar. Oh my gosh, US dollar. No. So here again, a lot of these markets are at these support and resistance levels. Now, how much faith do we have in these levels? Who knows? Some of them look good. Some of them you can't really tell. I believe this is a good level. All right, because here we had a lot of support here. A little bit of resistance there before it broke. Again, you don't even have a 52-week high on this high or low because this thing hasn't even been in play for 52 weeks. So you don't have all the data you really need to measure this thing out. But we'll go with this support and resistance. You can see this flat market. Ichimoku doesn't really help me much. It's crossover. So we may see the market bounce here. Again, I'm getting another sign, little indecision sign here. This is going to the downside a little bit or even flat. But you got divergence here. So even if I go back to this level, so I'm going to go back to both levels. I'm going to show you real quick. Looking at divergence here because you're here. This one is a little bit higher still, but if it comes, or if it's at that level, we still had a little bit of divergence. Maybe not, because you do have that little bit of distance, but that's close to a divergence there. All right, but when I look at this level for sure, as opposed to this is a little lower right there, as opposed where you are here. This was lower, this is higher, a little bit higher. But now when the market comes down to this level, even if we don't have that divergence, we're still going to look for the bounce off of this level to see if the market can move higher. We want to see if we're going to honor this support level. All right, and you're getting some distance on your Kijinsen. So with a little bit of distance on Kijinsen, you don't want to get too much distance, because that's a market that's out of equilibrium. So you probably see it pull back a little bit. Again, I love to trade the Tenkan-sen levels. So if it drops and then we look for that pullback, at least the Tenkan-sen, right? And then we know what the market may be doing. And then we'll look also for the market to move up to Kijinsen, and if it does that, we'll start looking for that 1, 2, 3 reversal, and then a move much higher, and then start shooting for upper levels. Then the market be in a nice trend to the upside. All right, that's OMG USD. Let's go to SAN US dollar. All right, there we are. So again, we're at another level, guys, another support level. Now, do I trust this level? Again, it hasn't even been in play for 52 weeks yet. So, but we do have levels. So I marked some of these levels. You could see how the market honored some of them, violated some of them. So we don't know what's up with this thing yet. Now, based on Ichimoku, I would take this to the downside, right? I would be playing the downside, but not now, because I already marked this level. You see, I told you we trade the Tenkan-sen levels a lot. So had a nice opportunity for a short here, and we made it back down to this level. We shorted this right here. Boxed this thing in. Sam did this on a 4-hour time frame, I believe. No, didn't do it on 4 hours, sorry. Did it on this daily, because I have it boxed in. We entered out of the box, and then the market dropped to our support level where we kind of suspected it. Now we're looking at maybe a reversal, not a reversal, but a pullback at least. So a pullback could take us back up to this level, at least the Kijinsen, before we see if it's going to violate this to the downside. But if this support level is nice, it could give us another bounce like we had here. All right, so we're going to kind of look for that same thing. What you had here was increase in volume. You can see the market dropping a little bit. You had a nice big candle here, but it's not supported with your volume, because your next candle was a smaller candle with up volume. All right, and you have divergence here. Look at this going to the upside. This is kind of going to the downside still. So you look for that divergence to kick in at support and resistance levels. Here you may see it kick in. Ichimoku wise, we're pretty bearish here, but again, the market may be flat honoring these support and resistance levels. Ichimoku doesn't account for a lot of that stuff. So did Ichimoku account for this right here when the market moved up here and then dropped like this? Yeah, we could have caught a trade, but by the time you got all bullish signal, all bearish signals, you were down here somewhere. So you never really caught it up here if you were just paying only attention to Ichimoku, which is not a good idea. Don't pay just only attention to that. What I like to say is I'm a trader. I'm not an Ichimoku trader. I'm a trader. So I understand the market. I study the market. I study the price action of the market. I study the aspects of the market. So that way I can trade without Ichimoku. All right. Support and resistance, fractals, so many other things. So I don't want to be just leading you on with Ichimoku. I want you to understand that it's a good system to help you to follow your rules and to keep some discipline, but it's hard to even trade that if you don't understand the market. You're just entering blindly based off of what some system tells you to do, and therefore you're going to take a lot of losses. All right, so you still need to understand the market. So with this point, I'm still looking for a bounce on support and resistance, possible move to the upside. Let it play out. All right, then the next candle is going to be vital to tell us what may be happening. Go a 4-hour time frame here again. Still don't have an entry yet. All right, so nothing on 4-hour time frame. So that's SAN US dollar. Let's go to XRM US dollar. I'm pretty much looking at the ones that may have a possibility of doing something. All right, so Monero dollar. So with Monero dollar, again, this is a pretty decent one. You could see this support level again. another support level, back at that support level. You got a zone here, so it's a support zone because of the wick, so the market could fall into that zone, and this would be the true level because you could see where it was resistance here. All right, the true bottom level, but it's also a zone, so the market doesn't have to come all the way back down to that level, and then you don't have anything else prior to that. So that's the real true level on this thing right here. So you see the market could come down deeper, but you already have divergence developing. This is going a little lower. This is already higher. All right, and then you're starting to get a sign. If this candle closes as an indecision candle, next candle again, another morning star pattern. You got some distance on Kijins in here. So with that distance, the market's out of equilibrium. You probably see it pull back. Sometime we see if it go through Tinkinson, then we want to see if we could get to the Kijinson level. The same thing back here. Look how much you got on that move back to the upside. So you could still expect another move to the upside here. All right, and then when you look at the levels, right? So these two levels, I'll still say they're nah, because you had the wick lower. But these two levels for sure right here. Sometime I'll go take the divergence back even further, show you how deep that divergence works. But like even here you could look at divergence. So I'll draw it out real quick. Look at this level right here. See where the market was flat right here, or pretty much the same levels, but you go here, it was dropping. You could see it drop to the downside, and then boom, the market just fell. All right, so we're looking at that divergence at support and resistance levels. I don't really care about divergence until it gets to a support and resistance level. All right, even if it's a minor support and resistance level, I'm going to start now. I'm going to look at that divergence. Divergence can last for a long time, so I'm not going to pay strictly attention to the divergence until when you get at a support and resistance level, that thing really may kick in and you see the market change, and that's what we have here. So this candle closing as this will really be very important. All right, because that'll signify that we got a little bit of indecision here, and then might see the market move higher. Again, told you we like to get trades off of the Tinkinson level. You see another trade back to the downside. You do trades to your support and resistance levels. But Ichimoku is not helping me a lot here because you got too many crossovers. You got some distance on Kijinsen. You don't want that. The market's going to pull back when you see that, or range. It's either going to range or pull back, one or the other. If it's going to range, just stay down here and then eventually break the level. But I think we could see for a pullback. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame, see if we got anything happening. I know people don't want to sit here all day with me talking about this. Don't turn your video off yet. I'll get through here quick. I don't see anything yet for the 4-hour time frame. All right, so let's go now. So this is Monero Dollar. Let's go to Zcash US Dollar. Let's go to ZEC US Dollar. All right, so then we got basically this pair again. I don't know why I looked at this. Maybe I'm expecting a pullback here. Yes, I'm maybe a pullback here, but I think we still got to see this thing fight. It's probably going to fight to this level. Not sure how strong. Yeah, that's a strong level because look at the support there, support here, support here. So probably going to see this thing drop even more. I don't think you'll see the pullback yet. You might get a slight pullback, but I don't think you'll get anything big enough to look at for this to move to the downside, to the upside yet. So probably looking, once you get here down to about 158.08, start looking for that bounce off of this level, because this is your strong support level. Ichimoku super bearish here, nothing to really stop us from going to the downside here, so still looking at that, but you may get a correction at this level pretty much, so just watch for that. Other than that, I don't see anything that I'm in love with. Again, told you Tinkinson levels where we like to look at our trading. All right, especially in a good trend. So that's the last of the US dollar pairs. We're going to go to the BTC now. So it's going to be ADA BTC, which is going to be ADA BTC. All right, so we're looking at that. You do have some divergence here, as you see. So the daily time frame, you see my support and resistance level. Now, the thing about this level, I didn't really mark some wicks here. So this, let's put this there. So you could see that wick right there if I put that. So I got a zone right here. And you don't even have 52 weeks of information here yet. So let's remove this. And then we had a bounce off of this level. Market moved higher. I told you we like to trade Tinkinson. So you asking me about changing my settings. I don't change anything because we bounce on Tinkinson. Bounce. That's how I can continue to trade to the downside. or trade to the upside following the market. Not major divergence, but you got some increase in volume. So now what we're going to look for, we want to pretty much see the market get above this your Keynesian level here. With a break above that level and a TK crossover, I'd probably think about taking a trade to the upside and might be fighting up to the cloud here. Now, you don't have anything happening yet, but you got a lot of volume and it's moving to the upside, which isn't showing here. So we just need to wait and see if that's going to be the case. With this level here and the market not moving higher, if we come anywhere in this area, then I may think that this is still going to drop to the downside, maybe find support in this area, and then you'll see the move higher. But if the market could violate this level, we'd have to pretty much violate this point, because this is the level where the point was. So if this market can violate that level, and I don't see that happening, while this continues to move higher, that's false. So you're going to see that thing probably drop to the downside, maybe catch a move to the downside here. So I'll probably look at the 4-hour time frame, see if I could get in here. 4-hour looks like it's bouncing on the top of this cloud here. So you're looking at that cloud. So what I'm going to like to do, I want to see this level here. I want to see what the market's going to do. Get a close below that level. Then we may see that market drop back down to the downside, and then we would probably shoot for that target, that support and resistance level. Now where's that main level? We'll shoot for this level, see a drop, then shoot for this point, and then maybe this point. Now going back to the daily time frame, so yeah, you could see that drop. That would be a drop down to this point here, and then we'll still see if we're going to fall lower into this zone here. But this seemed to be the true support level, but you do have a zone. So watch that, thinking that you may get a move to the downside before you get that move back up. All right, so you see what we got there. All right, so let's go Btc. Let's go there. So Bitcoin Cash. Let's go daily. Yeah, I was talking about this pair. I'm thinking with this pair, we may still see some downside movement here. You could see we violated this level here, right here. And then the market violated this support level. As you can see, we're looking at that support level back here. It wasn't really a strong level back there. It was a resistance level there, a little bit of support here. So it was a good level. I think this is the level. But anyway, if we look at that, we did have a little minor support here, unless this is the level that we're looking at in the past. But this is the level where support was. The market violated. It pulled back up to that point, and then I'm thinking we're going to still see the move to the downside. You probably see the market move down to this support level in this area here still. We may get a pullback, which may take us back up to this level. But let's go to the 4-hour to see where we're looking at. So we're still flat here. You got a little bit of divergence kicking in. You may see the market move back up to this point. So I don't really have a good entry that I'm looking to get into the market here, because I want to see the market at one of my levels before I really concentrate on getting that trade. Let's go back to the daily. I want to see the market come back up to this point, because I look for it to go to the downside. All right, back to the downside off of the bounce off of the resistance level. Now go to the 4-hour time frame. So that would bring us up here, but that we may not get there, because we're seeing your Keynesian level on the 4-hour. So you might have a good move up to that level, but at this point, yeah, because you got, if you call this minor support level here, you could see we were flat here, and you got some divergence. So the market move a little higher, may get it up to that point, but then overall I think we may still see the drop. But if I'm wrong, then you're already being a trade to the upside, and then you're getting that profit. All right, so let's go to our next one. So we're looking at, let's go to Binance Coin, Bitcoin. All right, so again, this pair looks like we're going to get a move to the upside and violate this level. Not a lot of Ichimoku here because we're flat here. So let's look at the levels here, basically. I'm on 4-hour. Got to go to daily, see what the daily's saying. I like this daily chart because you see you got to move higher, pull back to Kijinsen, move higher. Then you could pull back. You didn't pull back to Kijinsen. You had such a big move. You got some distance on Kijinsen, like I said. So with that distance, the market pulled back. All right, so now you're going to see that move again. So you got to get that reversal to get that 1 2 3 reversal that I'm telling you about, that I keep talking about. So when I'm trading, when I'm looking at trades and looking at the market changing or continuing, I always look into effect that 1 2 3 reversal. 1 2 3. 3 came back to the 1, so we kind of figured we were going to range. But all right, so you could still look at a range trade. You would have traded back up to this level, but then the market violated that point. So now we want to see if we were getting into a trend, right? Getting into a nice trend. So you pretty much 1 2 3. Okay, 3 didn't come back to that 1, so we're expecting that move to the upside, and it stopped right on Kijinsen. That's our level. So I always telling you we need a level, signal, and a trigger to trade. We had the level, we had the signal and the trigger to trade because you had a morning star on this point. You see that morning star, and then you could have traded that with support here, stop loss, then the market moves higher. All right, because you're bouncing on Kijinsen and you're bouncing on Tinkinson levels and you're bouncing on support and resistance levels. You're bouncing on the cloud. Those are the things that you look for. I'm looking for. I'm looking for the slight pullback to follow the trend. Want to confirm that the trend, that we have a trend, and then follow. Ichimoku confirms a trend, but sometimes it's late, so I use some fractals to confirm the trend and also the 1 2 3 reversal. All right. So then now let me show you what I do, because I'm looking at this candle closing in about 15, actually 17 minutes, right? So it closes in 17 minutes. Good entry here. I put a stop loss a little lower and trade at least up to this point, and then fighting to get to this point because that's the last longest support and resistance level. Now, let me show you how I work with Ichimoku with the observation theory, and I use it all the time. So the market likes to do 1-to-1 ratios, which is what you'll see a lot of. All right, so 1-to-1 ratio, I use these Ichimoku levels based off of this fib extension tool. So if I said 1 and I said 2 and I said 3, I would be shooting for this 1-to-1 ratio right here. All right, that 1-to-1 ratio, which is right here, I would basically get it like this. So if I put this level, I was looking at that level to this level, then I'm going to say that this level is going to, whoops, I'm going to say that this level is going to be the same. So I would go here and put it there and see if it was the same, and pretty much came up to our 1-to-1 level, quite missed it. So this is your NT level, this is your N level, this is your V level, this is your E level. The market went right up to our E level. All right, so this is part of Ichimoku observation theory, part of my advanced Japanese techniques Ichimoku course. So now what I would be looking for, I'm still going to continue to do the same thing. I'm going to let the price action tell me if we're going to make it or not. So I'm going to still use my Ichimoku observation theory. All right, so I have these numbers set. I have these put in specifically to know those levels when I draw it out with these trend extension tool. So I said we're going to shoot for this target. So you shoot for the target and you let the price action see if you're going to get through those levels, and then you're going to shoot for this level and see if you could get through. But overall, we would look for this point right here. Now, such a big move in the market here, these couple big moves made the 1-to-1 level going to be much higher. So you'd have to see the same thing happen, pretty much a good big move. But the market knows, and the market loves this to pretty much give you those 1-to-1 moves. So shoot for these targets that you have here, which is 0.0016, 238, 0.0018416. Then we start talking about this in 0.0020069 and 0.0020563. And then if we could fight that, guys, we're really moving. But you can see this is the major support and resistance level, so we want to at least get there, all right, before we start talking Ichimoku observation theory. All right, so I like this trade setup, and we stay above Tinkinson level. Kijinsen's flat, but you still have room to move to the upside. Once you get that 17-day break, you'll see that thing start to change. All right, so that's what we're looking at with Binance Coin. Pretty good opportunity. Candle getting ready to close in 14 minutes. Let's go to Let's go to Dash. So Dash, I'm looking for this thing to short. I'm looking to short Dash. All right, so Dash, we're following Ichimoku pretty much. A lot of crossovers here wasn't helping us, but you got a pretty strong trend to the downside. No divergence or anything, so no reason to change what we see here. A lot of trades you get off this Tenkan-sen one. You got one here. You got a really good one here. We got the same thing here. So we're looking at a bounce on Tenkan-sen with a entry below this level. So if we put an entry right there, put our stop loss a little bit above Kijinsen, because we're allowing for the volatility of the market, and that's the Ichimoku rules. And then we're going to trade down to this 52-day low here. This is the low. This is low close. This is the low close. This is the low. The low. This is low close. All right, so we're looking to see the market go back down to this level. So looking at this, you could see where I'm going to put my entry level. So I pretty much would enter right here, and I'm going to look for stop loss up to this point, because that's allowing for that volume, that volatility here. And then we're going to shoot for this target here, right there. So we're more than 1-to-1. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's go to 4 hours, see if we could get a better entry. So currently 4 hour, not giving us a better entry yet. You may see a little pullback with 4 hour, but if 4 hour decides, if the whole market decides it's going to pull back, right, watch this level, draw this in, draw this box in, and watch the market. See if the market's going to pull back up to that level, because if it does, then we're going to look at it dropping back to the downside. You're going to trade it at that point. So when you go to the daily here, all right, I don't think you're going to see that, but your Tenkan-sen's your level, and you could see. So I pretty much look for a close below this level. Actually, not even a close. Now this market's trying to move lower here. So that's what I'd be looking for. We're not moving right now. I think the market's closed anyway. Holiday. But anyway, you're going to see this thing slight drop here. This is where we wanted to take our entry and trade to the downside. You can see that we had the volume, the down volume kick in. Then you had a little pullback, and then back to the zero level, and then the market back to the downside. All right, so we're looking for that downside trade right here. Dash Bitcoin. All right, so we want to go to, I got a couple more pairs, then I'm done. ETH, BTC. So looking at this Ethereum, Bitcoin, still see some down movement here. Probably got a good way to go with this. I would be looking short with this all the way. So this thing follows, look at how this thing follows my Ichimoku Tenkan-sen level. All right, so every time you could trade on these levels, I'm telling you, there's 3 good trades right there for you if you just follow these levels in a trend. Now when the market's not trending, it's harder to do that. You can't do that. But you got a confirmed trend to the downside. You should be looking for bounces off of that level. So we're going to look for the same thing here. All right, there's a little bit of divergence here, but we're going to try to trade this back down to the, actually, let's put the support levels here. That's the 52-week low. I'm not thinking we're going straight down there. This is the level. Is this a level here? So we want to see these levels because we're going to trade. So this is resistance, resistance, support. So we look at this level. Let's see if we could get down to this point. Now we had a level here. Let me see what this is all about. We're past that a little bit. We may be testing that level and then dropping back to the downside. But I'm looking at this. We still may get a little movement to the upside because we may get inside the TK zone here. I'm not thinking we're going to get this high. I'm thinking we may get up in here a little bit more and then back to the downside. So I'm looking for a trade to the downside. I'm looking at least this level right here. And then if we could violate that, we're going to go to the 52-week low. Let's go 4 hour. So 4 hour, this is a better trade entry looking at this. I don't really want to see a close above this level. So what I'm going to look at, so the next candle is going to be vital. When this closes, this is closed. Actually, this closes in, the market's still moving here. If this closes in another 9 minutes, you'll see this candle close. You'll see the resistance level hold for Kijinsen. Once that Kijinsen level holds, we're going to look to see if we get that move back to the downside. You can see this level being rejected already. You see that little drop there. So what we're going to look at is a market move to the downside, drop to the downside. All right, because we're going to look for a move to the downside. So we could look for a 3 candle entry, or basically the next candle, and see what that's going to give us. So the next candle is going to be pretty much your signal. You're still going to need a trigger. You're not just going to enter the market off of this level. Now, some traders would. I wouldn't suggest that because it hasn't proved that it's going to even hold that point yet. So we're looking at that move to the downside at that point there. Now, yeah, so we still need a little bit. We have our level and our signal pretty much. We need something to trigger us into this trade. Love the level, 4-hour level and daily level. Yes, looking for this move to the downside. I think that's what you're looking at here. Probably going to get a good move to the downside. Still got a lot of strength. So even looking at this 4-hour time frame, you can see how we follow Tinkinson very well. Very clean entries for you to get on. And look at, even when you pull back to Tinkinson, you have those trade opportunities. That's where we are now. Back to Tinkinson, we want to get that trade opportunity. So the next day, this 4-hour candle, so the next 4-hour candles, the next 2 are going to be vital for our entry here. So we're probably at least 8 hours away from getting into a trade. Maybe it could be 4, but we'll see. All right, so that's going to be Ethereum, Bitcoin. Let's go to Ltc Btc. I got 2 more pairs after this one. A lot of divergence in the markets at some support and resistance levels. Okay, so here it is. Here it is again. You could see we got this 52-week high here. Looks like we're following this Tinkinson to the downside. Now I think you're going to see a pullback here. You could see, we'll probably see this pullback. See if we pull back at this Tinkinson level, or maybe back to the Kijinsen level. I don't see it coming back that far, but maybe. But I'm still looking for the move to the downside. So we haven't confirmed yet. We do have a level, but we don't have anything to get us into the trades yet. Where are we going to trade to? Let's see. I haven't put the support and resistance levels on here. So this is the first one. Let's move this thing up, because we want to look at that low break. Look at here. So even if we get up here, we're going to pull back down to this level, see if we could violate that. If we violate, let's make this into a zone. That way we know we're falling to the zone. Okay, you could see this zone, so we could violate and still get into the zone here, and at that point we may see what the market does there. So we could get this short opportunity into the zone because we got TK crossover. Now you can see where we hit where Chico span hit your Kumo here, and then bounce to the upside, market bounce, and then you're going to probably see a breakthrough. Watch that breakthrough. That's going to be you could also trade. So you have Kumo breakouts with price and Kumo breakouts with Chico span. That would be a Chico span breakout. All right, but we're so close to the support level, waiting on that, we would probably be entering way down here somewhere, where we could probably get a better entry, because we're going to go 4-hour to try to catch this. So I'm trying to get done here because, yeah, got this head code just tearing me up. Tearing brother up. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. We do have a nice looking setup possibly. So when we look at this 4-hour, just let's look at this, break this down a little bit. This point to this point was lower. Well, this point to that point was higher. This point to this point is higher. This point to this point is lower. We're seeing a little bit of divergence here. Probably looking at that market dropping. I want to see pretty much you go 4-hour. We want to get a close below that level. So I'm going to box this market in instead of drawing it here like this. Let's just box it in. This is how we're going to want to enter the market boxed in. I got it boxed in. So if it closes above that box, then all bets are off. We'll still have to wait. But if we get a close below this box, that's where we're looking to take this thing to the short side. Now you got a 1, 2, possibly 3 right to the upside if you violate this box. But I don't believe you're going to see that, because I think you got the 1, 2 nice pullback, and then you're going to see that thing just drop. So you then you won't have that anymore. All right, you won't have the 1, 2, 3. You'll violate that level. So let's see if we could get through there. Go back to the daily, see what that looks like. So your daily, you see what that looks like. We could possibly see the market up in this area somewhere, still looking to trade to the downside. Now if we violate the box, go back to look at your Kijinsen level, see where that takes us, because there's a possibility we still could get there before the market moves back to the downside. So what I'm going to do is make that one blue so we can understand what it is when I go back to the 4-hour time frame. So that's your daily Kijinsen level. Whoops. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. If we violate that box, then we could still see the market move up to that point. Then you would have the 1, 2. This would be 3, and then you're up to 4. Then we're still going to look for the move to the downside, because you're at your daily Kijinsen. So your daily levels are stronger and everything. So I try to go to the 4-hour to get a better entry, which is going to be a close below my box here. But if I violate that box to the upside, then even if I wanted to trade, I know that I may have problems at this point. So if I trade it to the upside, I know that I'm moving into a daily resistance level, which would be my Kijinsen here. All right, and you can see that was a support level anyway. See that? Good support level. Support, resistance, support, support. We could move back up to that level. All right, so that's why I say to box the market in. If we close below, more than likely we're going to get that momentum and that volume to the downside. Now we still have up volume, but watch and see. It may take a little bit, and then you may see this drop to the downside. Then we'll get our trade to the downside with the Litecoin Bitcoin. All right. So I got 2 more pairs to look at. Let's look at Neo Bitcoin. Hold on 1 second. So we want to look at this Neo Bitcoin. Let's go to the daily. All right, so daily's a little flat here. I think we were still looking for a move. Let's see if we got some of these levels. Still going to look at these support and resistance levels. Still looking at that move to the downside. Now you have some up volume, but the market's not moving up. So you got volume, so it's not really supporting that move right now. All right, so with that, again, you're at your main level, your Tenkan-sen level, to move to the downside. Ichimoku's all bearish, but as I was saying, still fighting this congestion. You got a thick cloud here, which is the volatility. So we may see this market. I sometime will box this in. We're on the daily, so you're bouncing on Tenkan-sen again. Everything's bearish. Look at the momentum to the downside, but the market's not showing that yet. But you got some bullish volume, but the market's not supporting that either. All right, so let's go to the 4-hour time frame. And you can see we're flat and ugly here. So with this ugliness, I usually like to box this ugliness in. And then I'm going to look for the close outside of this ugliness. And that's where I'm going to look to get into my trade to the downside, more than likely. All right, so go back into the daily time frame. You can see what that is. If we close above, we're going to probably see it move a little bit above this level. We're still going to look for the short opportunity, because this market, I don't believe, is turning at this point. It may just be correcting and then going back to the downside. We're going to look to trade this back down to this level at 0.005639 at least. But at this point, we don't have anything. I box it in. I'm going to see if it gets outside of the box. All right. Little techniques that we use, a lot of techniques that I use in my courses and helping members to trade the markets. Love to box the market in. So we're going to look at our last pair. It's going to be the Verge Bitcoin. All right. So let's go to, we're on the daily. And I wonder why I wanted to really look at this thing here. We got a big rejection of this resistance level. All right, so that's what I was looking at. You got a crossover that's bullish, but nothing else is supporting that. It's early yet, but we're starting to see signs of a breakthrough to the upside. All right, so what I'm looking at here now, we rejected this level. When I get that kind of a rejection, I like to trade that thing right back the opposite way. Now, some of Ichimoku is trying to tell me you got a little break above the price here, which is bullish. You got TK crossover, which is bullish. It's a weak sign down in bearish territory. You got a cloud that's still bearish. All right, so we have mixed signals and we have bearish volume. But let's see what plays out here. Just the way it looks, we may see a drop, but this may be the start of a move to the upside. You may see this thing drop, so you could get a correction, so you get something like this. Let me draw this. So you may get 1, 2, may get your 3 down to this area somewhere, because there's levels we could be looking at that market dropping back to, and then see it go back higher. So you may get that drop, but I think overall you might get the move up. Now if you take this trade when it closes below or just at that level, even if you get to this point here, you could still see if it fights to get back down to the 1 level. All right, which then gives us the signification that the market may be getting into a range before it breaks to the upside or downside, whichever way it's going to go. All right, but that's what we're looking at, Verge Bitcoin. Been in here an hour and 1 minute. I think that's long enough. Hopefully this helped you guys out a little bit. Hopefully you understand what we're looking at to get in some of these trades. If you still don't understand this stuff and you want to get better and learn, just come follow me over at fx@oneglance.com. You could become a member for 1 year, 1 year membership, give you access to all my courses, give you access to daily live at 5s like I do here with members. Get to ask questions, get to do whatever you ask me, whatever you need to ask, find out what you want to find out, get access to some of these trade setups that we post out, get access to the members forum and access to our chat room. All right, so hopefully you like this, and hopefully you think about becoming a member. Would love to have you as a member. Just go to my website, www.fx@oneglance, as you can see up in the right hand corner, and when you go there, look through the website, and if you like it, if you like everything that I'm showing you here on YouTube and what I'm showing you on my site, think about becoming a member. Click that become a member and see what it's all about. It'll tell you there. All right, but hopefully this helps you. Hopefully you catch some of these opportunities. Hopefully they play out like we say. But until next time, guys, have a great one. God bless. So long.